I wanted to go traveling. I knew I wanted to go Southeast Asia. Obviously, London is very expensive, so I wanted to do a little bit of exploring, and I thought that this would be like the perfect opportunity, really.
So then when you got to Vietnam, what were your first impressions?
I remember flying into Ho Chi Minh and just looking at the city and being like, wow. It's the first time that I left Europe. I really had no idea what to expect. And we were just like, whoa, the culture difference was insane. Like the food was amazing. When you arrive, it is quite hectic, it is.
How do you find that overall work-life balance in Vietnam?
Yeah, the lifestyle is brilliant. You don't have to work 40, 50 hours a week to be able to sustain a good lifestyle. But it depends really why you're here, because everyone has different reasons. Some people want to save money.
What would you say are some of the challenges of living here? So let's get started.
Awesome.
Hi Laura,
Hello.
how's it going today?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, so we'd like to talk a bit about your experience of living and teaching in Vietnam. So maybe we can start off with what you were doing before you came to Vietnam, and what was it that initially made you want to do something different like this?
Absolutely. So before I moved to Vietnam, I was living in London. I was managing a pottery studio in North London, which I loved. I got to work with kids, I got to do my art, which was amazing. But it kind of got to the point where I couldn't really get any higher up in my job. Obviously, London is very expensive, so yeah, the living situation was tougher than it is obviously here. But yeah, I just kind of fancied a change and I wanted to do a little bit of exploring, and I thought that this would be like the perfect opportunity, really.
What was it about Vietnam that stood out for you as an opportunity to come out and live here and teach here?
I hadn't really done any research before coming out here. I wanted to go traveling. I knew I wanted to go Southeast Asia. I've always wanted to do teaching, so I did some research into like different courses, and obviously I stumbled across Ninja Teacher, and so it was kind of from there that I started planning my travel and life around the course. So I found Ninja Teacher. I thought Vietnam looked perfect. Obviously, I saw that the living situation and the lifestyle was something that I really wanted and something that I didn't have in London. So I really fancied that. I planned on going Thailand, and I went to Cambodia, and then I ended up in Vietnam, where I did a little bit of traveling and then kind of came here. So yeah.
That's great. So you got to travel a bit before you started teaching, started the course.
Exactly, yeah.
Just before you moved though, did you have any fears and concerns? Like, were you worried you're doing the wrong thing? Anything like that?
I think naturally, like we all have a few worries. I think I didn't really give myself a lot of time to worry, because I signed up for Ninja Teacher I think it was maybe July, and then I began in November, but I actually left in September. So yeah, it was a very, very quick turnaround for me. So yeah, like I didn't really think about much, but I was worried that I wasn't making the right decision, and I was questioning a lot of my choices. And yeah, like food wise, obviously I'm vegetarian, so I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't have a good selection of food for me, but actually it's been great. So
I'm literally looking at a vegan restaurant across from
I know,
us.
I've never been there actually.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's
but there's a lot of options in this area, right?
There's loads,
Nice.
really quite a lot. But yeah, so a few worries, but yeah, I didn't really allow myself to get too concerned about anything. I was just excited for an adventure, really. Yeah.
Awesome. And how was that traveling through Southeast Asia when you first got here?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really amazing. I think it's the first time that I left Europe, so I really had no idea what to expect. I arrived in Thailand with my friend actually, who now moved out here, which is lovely. And we were just like, whoa, like the culture difference was insane. Like the food was amazing. Like, yeah, we did a big tour around Thailand for the first month. And then after that, we went to Cambodia, where we did another tour. So we were in Cambodia for a month, and then I then moved here on my own in the November last year. So yeah, we started the course briefly after. So
That's
it was
exciting.
Yeah, it was really good to get it out of my system, the traveling, I think.
Sure.
I think that's really, if you want to travel, I think at least to start with, you're just kind of getting yourself settled. I would definitely recommend doing some traveling to start with, just so you can kind of get that out and, you know, have some fun before you have to just do a little bit more serious stuff.
Actually work and get a
Yeah,
job.
working, yeah, exactly.
What was the sort of budget you had for those 2 or so months in Southeast Asia? Because I know people think of that as like a few months of traveling, like that's got to be really expensive, right?
Yeah.
But how was it?
So I think I probably spent like on what, like flights as well, or just like
Just
food and
yeah,
stuff
like
like that?
those months there, or travel and food and getting around.
I think I probably spent around maybe 2 to 3,000, including flights. When I was actually there, it was really, really affordable. I think the main thing that you are spending your money on is the flight, but then once you're out there, like it's so, so easy. And, you know, food, drink, beer is super cheap, which is great. Yeah, like meals, everything like that. And then I think just like excursions and like day trips. I did do tours, so I mentioned I did 2 tours. They're more expensive than if you were to do it solo. But I think I just wanted to know that yeah, I didn't want to have to think about like every single step. So I'll admit that I was maybe just a little bit lazy, but you can do it for a lot cheaper. But yeah, like finance-wise, it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Awesome, nice.
Yeah.
So then, when you got to Vietnam, what were your first impressions, and how did you like Vietnam when you got here?
So when I first arrived, I remember flying into Ho Chi Minh and just looking at the city and being like, wow. Like I think with Landmark 81 and like you kind of come in and you do like a whole tour of the city before you land, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And then obviously when you arrive, it is quite hectic. It is, especially if you're not used to it. And I think I was probably a little bit more tuned in because I'd been to Cambodia and I knew about Grab and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think when you first arrive, it's like, whoa, because it's just so different to home. And, you know, like food, everything like that, it just becomes very natural. And yeah, even like walking, there aren't a lot of pavements here, but you quite quickly just look at what everyone else is doing and see like, okay, this person's walking on the road, I'll walk on the road, no one will hit me, it's fine. So yeah, the adjustment happens very naturally, but yeah, it's very, very different to home. Yeah.
And so you've been here how many months now in total?
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, 10 months with
Okay.
a month off. But yeah, 10 months here I've lived here.
Nice. So what would you say then are your highlights of your time in Vietnam so far?
I would say I had a really lovely Christmas. Had a really lovely Christmas with some of my friends at Ninja Teacher. That was the first highlight, I would say. It was just a really lovely chance to kind of get away and have some fun. Obviously, we'd been going out a little bit at Ninja Teacher, but yeah, we were keeping it quite chill. So it was lovely to just get out and have some fun and chill out. And then I would say just some of the amazing traveling I've done. Like I've been to Dalat, which was beautiful. It's actually one of my favorite places just because of the contrast. I think when you first get here, it's so lovely to be in a warm climate and the heat is great. But then it's nice to have a change once in a while. So going to Dalat and getting that cooler kind of temperature was just so lovely, and it was just beautiful as well. And then yeah, I think I was going to mention to you about like my art practice, which has really taken off, and I never thought of that I would get the chance to do anything like this, especially when I was at home, but it was never in the back of my mind when I was here either. So that's been really, really amazing to be able to do that. Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about that then. So for a lot of people, I know that one of the draws is sort of the work-life balance here, and you just mentioned being able to start your own art practice and all of that. So how do you find that overall work-life balance in Vietnam?
Yeah, so I think I'm very grateful for it, especially to start with. So to start with, when you start teaching, you really need that time during the day to like plan and like kind of just figure out a good system for you to make it work, and also just kind of get used to the teaching and have the energy in the morning. And yeah, that's really, really good at the beginning. But then as you get more and more confident and more just faster in your planning and everything like that, you do end up having quite a lot of time in the day. And I think, yeah, the lifestyle is brilliant because obviously it's great because you don't have to wake up early. You can go out with friends in the evening and have a few beers and not have to worry about being hungover, or even just have to worry about getting up early. But also, yeah, it just gives you time to pursue different hobbies and things that you're interested in. And so, like, yeah, for me, I have a degree in art and design, so in textile design, and I've always been trying to find jobs where I can implement my work and kind of do different kind of try and just use my passion within my work. And this is just so great because I get to do the teaching, the childcare side of things, and the having a bit of fun, but then I also get to do my art. And so in January, I started just like sketching like places, and it's so beautiful here. Like there are so many amazing cafes, as you know. So it's like you're kind of spoilt for choice. The colors are beautiful. Everything is just stunning. So I was so inspired by that. And so I started sketching like different areas, my favorite places mainly that I went to, like different cafes, different spots. Yeah, and then it kind of just grew and grew and grew. And so then I had a whole sketchbook. And I was like, I have all this time, I may as well kind of see where I can put my energy. I applied to go to the Saigon Artist Fair in June. And they accepted, which was so cool. I was like, whoa, so awesome. Nice. Because I didn't get a lot of closure when I finished my degree because of COVID. So I didn't get like a physical degree show. So this was such a nice way to kind of show my work physically and like have people's reactions to it. Like it was so lovely. I sold a good amount of things, and yeah.
That's
and then,
so cool.
Yeah,
so,
it was awesome.
So you actually were selling your art then?
Yeah, I was selling my art there. Like everyone really loved it, which was amazing. And I don't know, I just got that sense of fulfillment that like I haven't really had since finishing uni. So it was so like lovely. And yeah, I'll definitely be doing more. And then soon after that, I actually got in touch with a few shops to see if they wanted to sell my stuff. And I think it's Saigon Eco Craft in D1. Okay. They got back to me and they were like, yeah, like we'd love to. So I've got a few of my bits over there as well, which is so lovely as well. It's so cool, yeah, nice. It's awesome.
And you feel like you have that time to actually spend that time on the artwork and doing these, going out and selling
yeah.
it.
Plenty of time, yeah. I usually spend I try to give myself 2 days off a week where I'm not lesson planning. So I kind of get a lot of lesson planning done on Tuesday and Friday. I do all of my weekend stuff on Fridays. So then during the week I have I told you earlier, I wake up very early. So I kind of like to go for a coffee, start my day or whatever. And then I do a bit of drawing, do a bit of TikTok. Yeah, I do. I also take quite a lot of video, like cafe TikTok videos, and so that's really nice as well, to kind of just like dabble in lots of different things. So yeah, it's really, really fun.
We were talking earlier, that's about 20 teaching hours per week at the moment. You said that's a fairly good schedule for you.
Yeah, fairly good schedule, fairly good kind of income really as well, like with that. But yeah, 20 hours. I could do more, but I think I mentioned to you, I didn't really come out here to work myself to death. I think the thing that's so lovely about this lifestyle is that you don't have to work 40, 50 hours a week to be able to sustain a good lifestyle. Like you can just do 20 hours and be okay. And I do a lot as well. I like go out for food and drink and things, and I'm never really struggling, so that's really nice.
Nice. So it's what you earn as a teacher for about that much work, and what you spend living here, you can live a pretty good lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really great, and I think if you do have like other things that you're interested in, I think that is just, it makes it just so worthwhile, because I know some people they struggle a little bit more with having a lot of time during the day, so they tend to do like public school or things like that. But it depends really why you're here, because everyone has different reasons. Some people want to save money. I just wanted a break from that hectic lifestyle in London. So yeah. It's been great. Yeah.
Probably the video before this would be an apartment tour video, and
yes.
One of the apartments we saw was Laura's apartment. So really nice apartment that you stay in. Yeah. And you want to share a bit more about like how you like your place?
Yeah, no, my place is ideal. I love it. Obviously, Min in the last video, he found my apartment for me. It was a funny process because I'd fallen in love actually with a flat in Tao Dien on the same day. And then Min messaged me that same day saying like, I'm so sorry, but it's been taken. Like I had this whole dream in my head, short-lived dream. But yeah, then straight away, He came by my house, took me on a bike. We went to 2 flat viewings, and this one was one of them. 10.5 mil, so I think about
It's about $400.
$400, yeah. About £350, I think.
Right, something like
something
that.
like that. But yeah, I saw it and I just fell in love with it. I think for me, the main thing was location. I know that the one thing that stresses me out is the commute. So I knew that like once I'd found my job, I needed to find somewhere close by. And yeah, I mean, my balcony overlooks my building over, well,
So it's
I
really
can see
short
it in the
commute.
distance. Yeah, so it's about 5 minutes on the bike,
Nice.
20-minute walk, 15 minutes sometimes. But yeah, so that was really amazing. Obviously, it's got a lot of light. That was really important to me as well. I think in the back of my head, I probably knew I was going to do some art because I always feel like I want to be somewhere where I'm inspired. And I think there was a lot of colour and there's a lot of flowers and you can, it's just very, it's a really lovely kind of place to live. And also it's a good space for one person, I think. It's not too big, it's not too small. The living area and bedroom is in the same space, but then I've got my own kitchen and separate bathroom. And like the location is also brilliant. Like we're in Bin Phan right now, and my place is probably about a 10-minute walk away. Obviously there's Van Viet Chan like down there.
The street,
And so it's ideal for the pubs and the bars and the restaurants and the cafes.
I think we mentioned that in the video, but I think this area is so nice and there's lots of little pockets of nice areas that you can live in Vietnam, but this one particularly I think is really great. There's all the little bars along the streets, like 1 minute walk from here, and there's lots of good restaurants. And I know there's a lot of vegetarian restaurants around here. You're a vegetarian.
I think the location, it definitely has made my experience because everyone kind of tends to go towards this area. So I'm never really going too far out of the way. But like the apartment and everything's amazing.
Yeah, and for around 10 million, what you're earning as an English teacher, that's really good for rent. You're not using up a lot of your salary on rent.
Yeah, like a third of my salary around about, whereas in London it was more than half. So it's like, or just half. But it really does make a difference to the lifestyle, and obviously food is so much cheaper. So it really does balance out.
Do you have an idea of sort of the budget you have for food? Do you know how much more or less you spend?
Usually, without going out for like fancy meals, I think I spend about $1 million a week on food and transport.
Okay.
So I don't know how.
One meal a week.
1 mil, yeah.
Wow. That's good.
Sometimes I spend like 2. I probably spend 1 mil. Yeah, about 1 mil on Grab. And then I spend like more kind of here and there on like nice meals out and like going out with friends. So that's probably on Grab, which I do quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I do cook.
We were talking about that earlier. Like ordering off Grab is really affordable too. So.
Yeah, it's just so efficient and like time efficient, and obviously teaching late, like you kind of get back and. I've done the whole meal prep thing at home. Like I loved it, but here, like because it is so easy. I get back at 7:30 or 8 o'clock and I can't really be bothered to cook a meal. So, being able to order a meal for £2-3 is just, it's ideal. It's just, and it's so quick as well. Like we were talking about that as well. It's just like, you kind of, during the rainy season, it's a little bit slower, but it's like, that's normal for England. So, but yeah.
And do you enjoy Vietnamese food?
I do, I love Vietnamese food. I've got a few favourite places. It's a really good one down the road, but I can't remember the name. But it's really good vegetarian, really authentic Vietnamese food. And then I also really like, there's a couple good banh mi, vegan banh mi restaurants, shops. I've just become quite obsessed with mama pho at the moment.
Okay.
But it's not like traditional, but it's really, really good, like comfort Vietnamese food. So I really, really love that. But love pho, love dry pho as well. But
and you can get lots of international food in the city too, right?
Yeah, you can get a lot. Like, you can get everything. Curry, I eat a lot of curry. Sushi as well, really, really good.
Actually, this area has got loads of Japanese restaurants, right?
It's beautiful. There's sushi
Yeah.
ni, like up here.
Sushi is a good one.
Really good.
Yeah.
But there's actually just, my favorite places are just the places where I can really just, obviously we've got the cafes and places where you can sit out on the road, but I think I really enjoy, especially being on my own, I really enjoy like going into like quite a calm, like cool cafe and just sitting and doing some lesson planning and reading a book. And yeah, there are a lot of places like that as well. So yeah, it's really
Nice.
good. Yeah.
And anything else about the lifestyle that you think would be interesting to share to people about like what you like about living here? What are your favorite things about living in Vietnam?
Yeah, I think my favorite things about living in Vietnam is that I also have a really good social life. I think we mentioned that, but being able to hop on the back of a Grab bike for a cheap price compared to our salary, and see some friends after work, go for some beers, not have to worry about being up early, and also just seeing friends like regularly. Like at home, I was working with my friends, so it was quite different. But if I hadn't have been, I think maybe once a week, if that. And friends who I didn't see often, like maybe once or twice, maybe once a month. So here it's so nice because you get that regular social events and, you know, coffee date. We go plan our lessons together, go out for food, go out for drink. So yeah, I would say that's probably the main thing that I appreciate about this lifestyle, as well as obviously the fact that I can do my artwork and things like that I wouldn't be able to do at home, not unless it was like my full-time job, and with that I wouldn't be able to afford rent. So yeah, it's a really, really great healthy lifestyle as well.
Nice. We're actually sitting next to a couple of Ninja Teacher alumni as well. There's a nice community that we've formed here. When it comes to like the program and coming through Ninja Teacher, like how did that help you with the process of getting started teaching in Vietnam?
Yeah, I mean it was amazing, and I think, to be honest, the main thing that I see in my kind of introductory period that a lot of my friends who didn't do Ninja didn't have, it's just like having the community and having kind of the push and the insider advice that you don't get otherwise. So I work for a centre where we have an introductory course, so it's quite nice because you do get a little bit of help, but it's not the same as Ninja. So with Ninja, you literally arrive and, you know, we get a tour around the city, which is really great. I think the fact that Ninja is a 4-week course, it kind of really allows you to settle in gradually, and each week you do kind of you do just get more and more used to the lifestyle and more used to the way in which things in Vietnam do work. I think the fact that you have a group of people who you see on a regular basis, that really, really helps. Like I made some really, really good friends here, and I don't know what I would have done without them, because you go through the process together. So yeah, that was really, really amazing.
And how about the teaching side, like getting into the teaching, that process of becoming a teacher here?
Yeah, I think you set us up really well for that. Obviously, we had a really, really good support system. When you finish Ninja Teacher, you don't kind of just drop us into the deep end. Like we do get the support for, I think it was like a month after I finished. So that was really lovely. And we get help with kind of applying for jobs and all that kind of stuff. I found my job probably like 1 or 2 weeks after, because we finished Ninja quite soon after Christmas. So yeah, it went quite quiet, and then I gradually it got busier and I got the job, which was lovely. I started working in the February, so it was nice because I could do some traveling before teaching again. I went to Malaysia, which was lovely.
Nice.
And yeah, so yeah, Ninja was a really great way of kind of settling in and knowing that you had like that kind of family or like support network around you. And obviously you do the Ninja meetups every course. At the start I went to a few, and yeah, it's really lovely to kind of meet new people and also just give other people advice and kind of learn from each other. So yeah, that was a really, really good thing. I'm glad that I did it. So happy.
Good, I'm glad. And how about the teaching now? How have you been enjoying it? Do you like working with children and teaching?
Yeah, like I love it. I've always loved working with kids, and most jobs that I've been in have been, since graduating, have included kind of working with children. But teaching has been so fun. At the start, it is kind of overwhelming, but I think Ninja sets you up really well for that, because you do a couple of kind of practice teaching, and they're really, really good. So you learn from that, and it just builds your confidence, I think, as well as in class as well. You're kind of teaching each other. But yeah, like teaching has just gotten kind of more and more natural. I think one thing is you can't really implement everything all at once. So you kind of have really, really high expectations of yourself, and then you realize that actually like it's okay to just gradually implement like this and that. So now I feel very comfortable. Like I know the kids. I love the schedule. The centre's really great. Yeah, I'm really loving it. Yeah, teaching here is really lovely. Yeah, and the kids are sweet.
That's great. So overall, would you say like you're happy with this decision to come to Vietnam? Has this been a rewarding time for you?
Absolutely, yeah. I've learnt a lot. I think about myself, and also I think one of the main things that I've learnt is kind of being able to be happy on my own. Like I live on my own, and this is the first time that I've ever lived by myself. I think because of the lifestyle, and because you kind of want to get yourself out there, you do kind of feel the need to have like loads of people around you. But then you just kind of, I don't know, everything kind of settles down. And yeah, I think I'm just very like content. But yeah, like the lifestyle's brilliant. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes you grow as a person living abroad,
Yeah,
right?
it
You
really
really put
does.
yourself into new situations that you might not otherwise have. And I know personally too, I've also had a lot of growth over the years from living abroad.
You can't think too much before you do things. If you need something, like if you need to, like a coffee, like, and you have to just put yourself out there and just ask for it. And if they don't understand, you just use your hands or like mime. Like I do a lot of that. But yeah, I think it helps you grow like in confidence. And just it makes you realize that you can do quite a lot. Like you can do anything. It's kind of like, but you can. Like I think if you just put your mind to it and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. You don't overthink it. You do it. And maybe you're not going to live here forever. Like I'm not going to live here forever, but this is definitely a stepping stone, a really significant stepping stone in what I want to do in my life. And it's been extremely rewarding. Like it's good to know that I can teach if I ever wanted to in the future. So that's really good as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say are some of the challenges of living here?
Maybe a lot of people do struggle with having so much time in the day. If you don't have if you don't kind of go out, and if you don't put yourself out there, it can be quite hard to have so much time during the day to kind of just wait to teach. But it's just about your mindset, I think, and it's about, once you're out and you're doing stuff, go out to a cafe, lesson plan, don't just stay in the house. You'll feel better surrounded by people. What else? Maybe
That's
just
a terrible downside, just having too much free time.
It's so hard. It's so hard. But like people are just so used to working all the time, and I think you can just really learn a lot about what you're interested in and about like different hobbies. Like there's so many like workshops. So if you're into like art and things, which I am obviously, there's like mosaic workshop, there's pottery workshop, there's plant painting workshops, there's like little studios, and it's so affordable. Like so affordable. So do those kind of things. Sports, I know a lot of people do like badminton. I used to do badminton. And
Laura,
yoga.
we're trying to talk about some downsides here, some challenges.
Oh yeah, downsides. The language.
Language barrier.
Language barrier is hard. I think sometimes it's like, it's hard to, when you're not understanding what's going on, it can be quite lonely, and it can make you feel quite isolated. I think
it's important to have a community.
Community around you to just kind of help support with that. What else? Maybe it's very hot sometimes.
It can be
It
hot.
is hot. It can be hot. So, like I said, I think to deal with that, I would just try and get out to other places that are air conditioned, like, or yeah, go for a swim. I know a lot of places have like pools and things like that, so that can be quite good. But yeah, I think it can be isolating, like it's normal. And I think I was saying to you as well, like with the time difference, being in touch with like family and friends and trying to keep constant communication with them, that can also be like a real struggle. I mean, I struggled with that a lot at the start. I couldn't really contact people when I needed to, but yeah, you do gradually just the more of a community you build here, I think the easier it gets to manage those relationships and remember that back home nothing really changes. I was convinced when I first arrived that everyone would forget about me and like, it's my own issue, but yeah, like no one, you know, they're just living their lives and we're living ours. And
It's interesting when you go visit home after living abroad, because it is weird to see how things don't change, and also you can get a bit of reverse culture shock and see the contrast between how things are.
Yeah, I was saying to you, I went home like last month just to visit the family and friends, and yeah, I got major culture shock. I was like, whoa, everyone's speaking English. I could understand, and that was one of the things I was excited for, was kind of being able to understand what was going on. But yeah, and it was the temperature and everything like that. But I think you do learn to appreciate both lifestyles in their own way. Yeah, just depends what you're looking for, really.
Yeah, nice. So any last things that you would recommend to people, some advice for someone who's maybe thinking of doing this?
Yeah, I would say don't just do it for the sake of it. Don't just do it because you want to travel and, you know, it's good money. Like I think you have to enjoy working with children. You have to also be quite patient. I think it's really important to be enthusiastic and want to do it. Like you need to want the best for your students. I think, sometimes the lifestyle is really appealing, and I get that people would want to do it for that. But I think fundamentally, like the children and their well-being and their kind of progress should be at the forefront of your decision making when you do decide to be a teacher, because it is about them at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's really important. I think everything else kind of comes, it's just a positive of the job. But yeah, I think if you have that childcare experience, if you enjoy working with children and you have other passions, I think it's perfect, because you can pursue those whilst living here and having a really healthy, balanced lifestyle. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because, you know, at Ninja Teacher, we're actually very passionate about the education side. And I think people see the videos, which we do focus a lot on what it's like to live here, because that's a lot of what people want to know about. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, as a company, we really want people to be good teachers as well, so that they can impact the children here. And I think that's sometimes a little bit overlooked, and, you know, maybe videos like this that do focus a bit on the lifestyle might make it seem like it's just about that, but it's not. It's also about like making a difference and doing good work here as well.
Yeah, like it's a really amazing opportunity to be able to kind of impact their lives in the way that we are. And I think you just have to be able to have fun with it. And I think if you don't already, I think Ninja really helps you to kind of let go of all of that and loosen up and not take yourself too seriously. Like definitely at the start, it really, really helps. But yeah, in general, like you have to be able to want to just have fun with that and care about their progress. But yeah, that's the main thing I would say about being a teacher, yeah.
Nice, yeah. Because being in the classroom, you really want to focus on making it fun and engaging for the students, but making sure that they're learning and progressing as well.
Yeah, exactly, and just being like professional, but you know, you can be professional and fun, and at the same time, I think it's just, it just has to be in your head when you're making the decision, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you mentioned that. It's really good. Yeah, any last words about teaching in Vietnam, living here, that you'd like to share?
It's not for everyone, but I think if this is interesting, if you've got a passion, if you want to travel, if you like kids and you like teaching, then I would definitely recommend it, for sure. It's a really life-changing experience, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Laura.
Thank
It was awesome
you.
to get your thoughts about living here. So,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No worries at all.